Hey y'all, it is Colby R. Rice, and I just want to welcome you back to the epic fantastical journey of a Black female sci-fi writer. I'm Colby. As I said before, I didn't forget my intro this time, but I'm a writer, novelist, screenwriter, TV writer, and a whole bunch of other stuff. This is actually going to be the second to last episode of the podcast, even though, to be very frank, it's been 10 years, which is crazy. Like, I started this podcast in 2016, and now it's the end of 2025. And I decided that I need to slash want to revamp, evolve, and move forward. So this is not the end of podcasting per se, but this is going to be the second to last episode of this particular podcast. And I'm super excited to announce the sort of next season of my life, my evolution, and the next podcast series that I'll be launching as of January 2026. Knock on wood, right? So welcome back. And I'm going to take you through what I've been doing for the past year and a half. I think the last time I broadcast to you guys was in August of 2024. I think it was like August 18th or something like that. And yeah, that was a long time ago. So I'm sorry that it's been so long, but I have been really embedded and really involved in a whole bunch of really amazing things, including my own self-care and rest. The last time I broadcast to you guys, I had just come back from Alaska. And it was a phenomenal trip. And a lot of my goals, or my sort of, overarching, this is sort of what I want to try to do goals, actually manifested all on their own. Okay. So one of those goals was that I wanted to create a writing and story development habit, which I absolutely did. I pretty much touched words every single day, right? And specifically, I'm talking about for the new series that I've been telling you guys about, which used to be called Asylum, but now it's called Sodom. And I was struggling with whether or not to actually call the series that for a second. And then I realized, and I looked around at the state of the state, at the state of things. And that is not the most controversial position that one could ever take. And claiming that controversy really helped to open up the dystopian sci-fi thriller-esque world of the Sodom series. And so at the moment, and I'm super excited to tell you guys this, the Sodom series is 18 books long. Okay. And it's gonna be so fire. Like, I'm so excited. Like, I love this cast of characters. I love the plot. The world building was my ultimate favorite part. And, that's my favorite part of doing any kind of series. And I'm really excited to publish the first book alongside the books of Ezekiel, those next installments next year. Again, I'm sorry for those of you who are still waiting for books 4 and 5 of the Books of Ezekiel series. I did take this time to kind of just step back and do the things that made me feel less stressed out. And so that meant that BOE took a back burner for a second. But that is a part of my Q1 plan, is to publish BOE 4 and then to work on, rather, to actually put into the fullest, most complete form, the first book of the Sodom series, which is called Sodom. Love the main character, love the supporting characters. It's just going to be super fire. So that was one of my biggest accomplishments, is like touching words every single day, touching like the world and like the plotting and the characters every single day, and actually getting words on paper, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of words. And I'm going to tell you more about what my process has evolved to look like, because again, even the process itself might feel a little bit controversial, especially with everything that's happening with writers, artists, and AI. And so we're going to talk more about that and how I proceeded and how I will continue to proceed with developing my series going forward with the co-assistance and co-creation skills of AI tools. That's something that I'm embracing fully, completely. I know it's going to get me canceled by maybe many of my not really readers. I don't think really readers actually even care or can even tell the difference, to be frank, to be honest. But a lot of my authors and artists out there who are still very wary, uncomfortable, and just completely antipathic towards AI are not going to agree with my choice, and that's completely understandable. I'm not going to argue with people over my creative choices. I don't argue with others over their creative choices, and that's okay. So I think people need to do whatever they feel most comfortable doing. And if that means that, you're creating a circle for yourself where you lean more towards traditional writing and craft, that's totally great. And I support that. And if you lean more towards AI assisted writing and craft, I also definitely support that. I'm a proponent of both. And I have had such an amazing time exploring all the different types of AI tools out there to help me with my creativity, not just in writing and storycraft for my own stuff, okay? Not for my client stuff because they don't like that, but for my own stuff, but also for the other endeavors that have pretty much taken over my life. And I'll get into that in a second. So, major thing I accomplished this year, the Sodom series is officially stood up. It's going to be fire. I also, as you can probably tell from my background, I moved again, and hopefully for the last time for a long time. So that took a minute, just getting settled into my new place. I love my new place. I plan on staying here, again, knock on wood, for as long as possible. And that's great. Okay, let's get into the actual stuff that you guys really care about. From the Sodom series, I actually was also able to create 2 spin-off series. Rather, I was developing the franchise, the world, the characters, the plot, the series progression, etc. for the After Asylum series. In the Sodom series, there's a book called Asylum, and between Asylum and the next book, Bedlam, there is a mini spin-off series called After Asylum. That particular series is, I believe, 14 or 15 books long, focused on one character's perspective, and I'm super excited about that. It's like a sci-fi thriller, serial killer, paranormal-esque series that completely organically emerged out of the Sodom series, so I'm super excited about that. And then I have a After Sodom is Over spinoff. It's only going to be like a 4-book spinoff called The Sons of Sodom. So after everything has concluded in the Sodom series, then we have the next generation, but it's like a very short, comparatively short tetralogy, right? That's connected to the Sodom franchise. So like just that alone, I mean, that's what, 18, 15, that's 33, that's 37. Just planning out like a whole nearly 40-book series over the past year. No small feat, but a much more accessible feat when you are using co-creation and assistance ethically. Oh, with the regard to the books of Ezekiel, so don't think I didn't touch the books of Ezekiel like this whole year. I did. But what I did do is that because Sodom has, the whole process with Sodom has completely changed my perspective on how to create certain templates, how to do certain like world building tasks and things of this nature. And a lot of that actually came from me traditionally, not really from AI. But I developed a whole lot of templates, a whole lot of like assistive tools to help build the worlds and the characters. And now I want to go back to the books of Ezekiel and use the tools that I have developed and I've learned and pretty much, I don't want to say revamp the entire books of Ezekiel series, but I want to categorize and organize all of the elements of that series per the toolbox that I have developed for Sodom. I did a 3-book analysis of the books of Ezekiel just so that I can have like the layout of what I've already written. I can track all the plot threads. I can track all the loose ends. And this is another place where AI really shines because you don't have to use it to, quote, cheat the system. I'm going to say that very loosely, but to cheat the system and to write things for you, that's not like the totality in what AI tools can do. You can also expose the plot holes and like the shortcomings in your current work and make sure you're tracking those until you resolve them. That's just one of the many things it helps you to do. And so I have used those tools in order to do a nice dissection of the books of Ezekiel so that I can make sure that I'm tracking things properly, I'm resolving them, and that I'm, of course, planting seeds and then giving you a payoff when necessary at the right time. So I did work on books of Ezekiel from an analytical perspective. All right, now we're getting into the big, insane, good stuff. So your girl kind of casually founded an AI-driven tech startup this year. Like, not trying to brag, I'm not. I think a lot of people are doing startups this year, but I definitely founded one. And it was sort of semi by accident. Um, but I'll tell you guys more about that in like the next podcast evolution. But basically, the company is called God Tier Storytelling, and it is designed as an ecosystem and an AI assisted writing app that work together to help storytellers tell the most amazing stories that they can, right? Across any and all genres. So that is what it is in a nutshell. And I'm not going to reveal all the different aspects of God tier storytelling, little g, not big G, but I'm just going to let you know that I'm super excited about this app, this endeavor. Again, it just sort of came out of this entire exploration that I had this year with exploring different AI tools and thinking to myself, man, if we can do this, and this, we can really, really help writers of all different kinds and walks of life and different abilities to achieve the ultimate goal, right? Which is to produce a piece of work, whether that's a novel, a screenplay, a teleplay, etc. And so that kicked off my journey into founding this tech startup. So we'll talk much more about what GTS is, the different features of that, again, going forward. But I have been working very hard on that since August of this year, 2025. And I am excited to say that I have already created 5 custom GPTs, just to sort of like, get some experience under my belt, but also support what we're trying to do at God Tier Storytelling. But even more excitingly, I coded and shipped my first standalone writing app that is basically the first iteration of what the God tier storytelling writing studio is going to look like. So I am so excited. And but prior to this year, I'd never coded anything before. I had had some limited experience with syntax and running programs and things of that nature as a statistician, and specifically for applied statistics and applied research, right? But coding is just on like a entirely different level, and I'm learning so much. So I started doing that. And then at one point I hit a wall, right? There were certain things that I could code for or that I could like ask AI to help me out with, right? And I was actually really like learning a lot being in the trenches of just doing the thing. But then I realized that I wanted to have more context, more in-depth understanding, more of an expertise, like more of a literal, practical, hands-on understanding of knowledge and knowledge of what I was actually doing. And so because I wanted to become a better founder, a better developer, a better coder, I actually also enrolled in school this year, as of this past October. And I'm going for a certificate in the University of Phoenix's Scripted and Compiled Programming Languages program. So, finished my first class, which is in logic and algorithms. I kicked ass and got an A, but it was probably one of the hardest classes I've ever taken because it's a complete shift for me in mindset, right? Like I'm a creative, I'm an artist, I'm this, I'm that. But then when it comes to just like straight computer thinking, I tend to over engineer. I tend to overthink things. And then like, there are just certain things that just don't come that as naturally to me. So it took literally, it was like having another part-time job going through this certificate program. I'd rather just taking the first class. So I'm not even done with the program, but I spent at least minimum 20 hours a week, sometimes even 30 to 35 hours a week outside of my full-time job, just to make sure that I understood all the concepts. I understood how to put together algorithms. I understood computer logic, and that I know it, maybe not necessarily like the back of my hand per se, but like I can explain to you, for example, the difference between a for and while loop and a do while loop versus Boolean logic and all those basic things that programmers need to know. But it was more challenging because if you guys are familiar with how online universities go, sometimes University of Phoenix takes an entire 15-week semester's worth of work and crunches it into a 5-week like hurricane of crazy. And so when you have a full-time job, a child, and then you also have school on top of everything else, and I'm still trying to like write and build my tech business and do all these other things, your girl was tired. But the work turned out to be worth it because I got an A, but more importantly, now I understand exactly how computers think, and there's more to learn. Matter of fact, in about a week, I'm going to start my second class of the certificate program, and that's in object-oriented scripting language. So I'll be learning Python, and throughout this certificate journey, I'm going to be learning several languages: Java, Python. Developing the app like itself before I even got into this course taught me a little bit of JavaScript and TypeScript. So now I have like 4 programming languages that are under my belt, and like obviously it's not like I'm fluent, but I'm going to keep growing and practicing those things. Maybe 5 if you think about Coral, like, which is not an actual language, but it's something that I know how to use now. So let's put it like that. So we're going to be doing a lot of learning of different types of languages and learning how to like do front end programming and then back end programming. And yeah, so there's a lot going on and I'm super excited. The program is 7 courses long. And so I'm entering course number 2. It's going to be insanity and I am super excited about it. Also stepped into my power because I'm a psychopath, but like a happy creative psychopath. Stepped into my power of becoming a game and console designer. So I started playing around with Unity and like different things like that, which is great. Again, I'm a super, super, super beginner. But then I took a step back and I said, you know what? Let me actually design my first game in a super easy, super accessible platform. Okay. And that platform is Roblox. Okay. And stop judging me. Okay. Because Roblox is the bomb. But the great thing about the Roblox game that I'm building, and I'm not going to tell you guys what it is yet because I'm still trying to get like things together. But number one, I think it fits a niche that is underserved on Roblox, but you still have a few games in that niche that have done very well. So that's number one. It's a cozy, casual, girl-focused game. I'll put it like that. Okay, something that I would make for my daughter. And actually, I had her in mind when I was putting this game together because I thought it was like a cute idea. And now it's become like a whole empire, as most things do when they pass through my hands. But if it's a niche that I think is established, but like it's underserved, and it's just so much fun. Like it's just like, I can't even tell you guys how much fun it is because I haven't been able to like, I won't be able to explain what it is until like the next podcast series. But I'm working on it. I just finished all the design docs and, of course, all the technical docs. So I have a whole bunch of game design docs for it and technical design docs for it. And yes, I am teaching myself how to design games. And yes, I am also using AI tools to assist me, right? And not just say, hey, I want to do this game, program it for me. No, teach me what the process is to design a game. I learn what the process is. Okay, I see. Let's tackle this one area today and let's develop this out. And again, this is really about using technology to expand our experience and our horizons. But at the same time, you're still learning the thing. You're just learning it in a different way, and you're learning it a lot faster. And so it's, again, I'm going to go more into what it's like becoming an AI assisted creator for not just writing, but also game design, app design, and things of that nature. It doesn't remove you from the process. You still have to learn the concepts, right? You still have to learn taste. You still have to learn process. You still have to actually develop skills. But the AI is there to help you do that way, way faster. And so I'm super excited about that. But yes, there will be an MVP, which is a minimum viable product, excuse me, for the Roblox game. My plan is to launch it on March 30th. So I'm taking Q1 of 2026 to develop this game, and I cannot wait to debut it on my next podcast. So stay tuned for that. I also spent a lot of time getting to know a whole bunch of different like tools, not just tech tools and tech stacks, but also just organizational tools. Now I am on the journey to also become a full stack developer, engineer, and AI engineer. So all of this stuff that I have been doing basically in 2024, just like hungrily eating up all this knowledge and all of this creativity, really has put me on a path of evolution, not just as an artist, but also just for like my mainstream career. Because as I design, as an instructional designer, I see spaces where we can improve automation, we can improve on graphics, we can improve on user experience, we can improve on interactivity. And if I master skills in programming, coding, agentic AI, things of this nature, I can bring together all these amazing tools and all these amazing perspectives from all these different worlds. And so all the stuff that I've been doing outside of work is now bleeding into my job, and is really helping me to come into my new primary identity as an instructional designer slash full stack engineer slash developer slash AI engineer plus creative vampire builder and writer and storyteller. So all of my endeavors sort of mix in and intertwine with each other, and I'm really excited about it. So this entire year has not only been about gentle and joyous creation, but has proven to me that once you just sort of like let go and breathe and just do things that you enjoy, and also listen to that voice inside of you of like what it is you want to do, you will flow into where you're supposed to be and where you need to be. And now, as of today, December 30th, I can say to you quite firmly, yes, that is my destiny, that is my direction, and that is where I'm going to be focused going forward. So super amped and super excited about that. So yeah, in addition to all the formal education I've been taking and the informal education I've embarked upon with practical experience, I have a pretty nice tech stack going on right now. So, as I mentioned to you before, I've got currently Coral, JavaScript, TypeScript, Python. At least I've touched those four languages. I said five before, I meant four. Four languages this year, and I'm going to continue to grow in those. Also, HTML, CSS, have also started studying those. Bash and using the terminal, which makes me feel like a real engineering G. And we'll talk more about that again in the next podcast, evolution, if you don't know what those terms mean. But Vercel, Node.js, React, Git, GitHub, a little bit of Unity, because I did play around with that this year, VS Code, Trello, although of course I love Trello, but I'm abandoning it for Notion. So sorry, bye-bye Trello. Figma, Next.js, Superbase, ChatGPT, Midjourney, and Firebase Studio are all things that I have explored this year and touched this year and have gotten more experience with this year, and that I'm looking to become a total fluent badass in for next year. So I'm super amped. The next sort of stack that I'll be touching is going to include at least, I would say, 3 to 4 other languages. Java, definitely, because I'm taking that in my certificate program. C++, C Sharp, and Lua, which I'm going to be using to program my Roblox game. So yeah, a lot of really great stuff going on. I'm super excited about all the things I've accomplished this year. Standing up a tech company is no small feat, but it also was so much fun. It is so much fun, and it has been wonderful working on the tech company and becoming a full stack developer and continuing my writing as a novelist and as a screenwriter at the same time. And one thing that this year has taught me, in addition to being gentle and joyous with my creation, is that you can be a hyphenate with as many hyphens as you want. It's your life. And as long as you feel aligned, you can do anything. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing anything and everything. So team, hello English. Those are my accomplishments for 2025. A lot of really great, exciting stuff going on, and also a stellar year for self-care and fun and family and relaxation and just balance, which is what I've always wanted. And I'm just going to take this moment to acknowledge that at least in this moment, I am living out the reality that I was hoping, wishing, and praying for just a few years ago. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful for you guys. And I'm grateful to record this second to last episode. I'm going to go and record the final episode where you're going to see and hear more about how we're closing the chapter of the epic fantastical journey of a Black female sci-fi writer and stepping into a totally new chapter where you get to see me not just as a writer, but as a tech founder, developer, engineer, and AI positive storyteller. All right, so Colby R. Rice now signing off. Keep it indie, stay badass, keep creating, and I will see you guys in the next and last episode of the epic fantastical journey of a Black female sci-fi writer. Stay tuned. Bye.